Hi, I'm Tom Untermeyer, the Chief Technology Officer for NaturalShrimp. And this is Mike Pineda, he's the Operations Manager for NaturalShrimp. And today we're excited to show you how the construction's coming along here as we get closer and closer to production. We thought we'd start over here in the water treatment plant, and behind me is the Hydrenesis hydrogas production system. And this is the latest version that we're going to be using in the facility that will enhance the growth of the shrimp and protect against pneumonia. And right now we have it set up here, and we're testing it in this facility right now before we move it over to the production building. And then down this way we're going to show you our EC systems that we have set up. So we'll see that. This is one part of the loop that we have set up for a recirculating system. So in the water treatment plant, we're doing all the treatment of the water, then we pump the water back over to the other building where we actually grow the shrimp. After it's over there for a while, then it comes back over here again for treatment and keeps recirculating. So this is one part of it. This is the EC system right here that is running right now on the tank that we have over here. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Also with this is a drum filter that we use and a carbon filter. All this has been part of our patent that's in the public domain, but you can see it in operation right now. Okay, we'll keep walking down this way. And, so as you can see, we have several of these ECs now set up and several drum filters, and these will be in operation as we treat the water from the other building.
I'm just going over the light.
Some beautiful looking shrimp there. Very opaque.
Beautiful. Oh, nice. Very nice. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, another thing I want to explain is the feeding system. There's different ways, we have different options on doing feeding. We decided right now to go with individual feeders on every tank. So this is set up here on a small tank just to show you what it looks like. This is set up to feed periodically, so we keep the right amount of feed going into the tank and the right size feed also. Okay, we just came from the water treatment plant where we treat the water. It gets pumped from there over to this building, and as you can see up here, there's pipes up here that the water will return in. From these pipes it goes to all the tanks. So all the water coming back from the water treatment plant goes through these pipes and goes to all the different tanks.
The next thing we're going to be showing y'all is our aeration system. How we come from the blower room into the tanks via this big 6-inch pipe that you see hanging structurally. It will come down as you follow the pipeline, and I'm going to walk over to that T so you can see. Via coming in through here from the blowers and induce into the tanks, and therefore give an aeration to our tanks. Okay. This is our boiler room. As we walk into this room, these are our high efficient boilers, a step up from afar from what we had before from our last building. So it would save us a lot more money and time and maintenance with these systems here.
Okay, we're going to walk up these stairs to our catwalk area so you can have a better view of the overall tank area. Okay.
And I'm calling this the stairway to heaven.
pan around a little bit, here you can see the tank areas where we have the grow out tanks, the blue tanks, and then the white tanks are the nursery tanks. So this is our whole production area here. One thing I want to mention is okay, one thing I want to explain here, there are really 4 systems that support the growth of the shrimp here. There's feeding, which is very important, of course. There's aeration to supply oxygen and mixing in the tanks. There's heating to keep the temperature correct. And then there's the main point, which is filtration, which is what our technology is on. We've had the filtration equipment here for a while. We've been testing it out to make sure that's right. But as we get these other systems on board, we'll be able to start the production here. And it's getting close.
As Tom explained earlier about the heating of one of our systems, as you look right here, that coil that you see throughout the bottom, it regulates the heat and the temperature for each one of these tanks. Each one of these vessels, each one of these tanks you see out here, via the nursery tank or production shrimp tank, has one of these coils installed to regulate the heat. As you see right here, we're filling one of our nursery tanks, getting prepared for the shrimp. Right here you see what a part of the feeder that will be installed to feed this nursery tank. Heat exchanger you see down on the bottom of this vessel, the coil, just as you saw earlier. When these nursery animals reach maturity, we will let them flow from our nursery tank into our production tank via a pipe down toward the bottom. Gravity flowing naturally and cautiously. Danny from D&M Construction down here on the bottom is doing some of our plumbing work, helping us out here. Him and his crew actually did all our concrete work here in our facility for our building here.
Okay, so as we're filling these tanks up, here's another example of a nursery tank and a grow-out tank. Shrimp will start in here as PLs. When it gets to the right size, we're going to gravity flow them into this tank. At that time, this tank will be empty, so all the water from this tank will flow into that tank. But then we'll fill it up, as you see, it's partially filled right now. This tank will hold 20,000 gallons when it's full.
And Tom, I have one critical question for you.
Okay.
Exactly how many bolts does it take to assemble one of these grow-out tanks?
Well, I counted them the other day, and there's exactly... Okay, part of this recirculating loop here, as we talked earlier, it starts over in the water treatment plant. The water gets treated, passed back over here through plumbing, and then goes to all the tanks. As it flows into the tanks overflow and gravity flow into another tank. So if you look down here, there's a union there that will connect to a pipe that will end up going down to these green settling tanks over here to capture all the water coming from all the tanks. Then it would be pumped from there back to the water treatment plant. Yeah, as you can see, the decking's being completed. It's going to cover all the plumbing that's underneath the decking. So when we're done, all the decking will be clear, but we'll have access to all the plumbing from underneath. We'll be able to access that for maintenance purposes. Okay, now we're going to walk this way. Yeah, so this decking will allow us to walk all around the production area and then also give us access to be able to look down into the tanks when it's completed. That's been a big fun.
This is an unboxing video, the unboxing of a pump, which Mike will tell you about in just a second.
This here, we talked about formerly from our blower shed coming out. This will supply aeration to each one of our production tanks and our nursery tanks. As you've noticed from our previous videos, the different color coded bolts heads that you see in the tank. There's red, yellow, and blue. The red ones are the longest ones. They go through thicker metal. The yellow ones go through 2 layers of metal, and the blue ones go through the thin walls on the side of the tank.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, some people were asking about the windows here and wanted to explain that a little bit. We have these small porthole windows just so we can see inside the tank from ground level. We can also see from above the tank, but we'd like to be able to see midway in the tank also. These are not actually glass, they're plexiglass, but they'll be fine with the shrimp. Okay, so we're going to walk by the rooms here that we're going to be using in production. The first one here is a feed room. We store all the feed in it. It's important to keep the feed at a good temperature and controlled access. So we'll bring the feed in to here and then put in, we actually have 2 feed rooms here, separated by this door. So the insulation has gone up and now the drywall will be next. And then we have a second feed room over here. So we have plenty of storage here for feed that we'll need as we stock the shrimp. So we'll keep walking down this way. This is our boiler room, a self-contained room used to keep the water in a circulating loop through all the tanks. We'll have several offices spread throughout this area here. This is one of them that's doing it. This right here is going to be the blower room. We'll have our blowers for providing the aeration to all the tanks. Another office here. And this will be our lab, so we'll have this is where all the water quality will be done in this area. We'll have the equipment there necessary for that, and then there'll be easy access out to the floor to do water quality in all the tanks. And the rest of this, we have a break room, we're going to have restrooms, and then at the very end we have a biosecurity entrance for all the employees that come in here.
This pipe you see here is going to be our shrimp discharge pipe. The shrimp will exit the tanks from this pipe. We will catch them in a net, and with a crane that we have assist on this other side of the pit, we'll hoist them out, load them into our vessels, and haul them away for processing. As we return the water back from this tank, we will put a submergible pump into this tank via these pipes that are up above and return back the water from whence the shrimp came from and further processing in our water treatment plant.
Okay, one of the last areas that we're going to finish construction is the conference room here. This is a visitor controlled access area where if we have visitors come in and we don't want them to be on the production floor, we can totally isolate them by having this room. we'll have a window here that people can look through and see what's happening out on the production floor, but they won't be able to step out onto the floor without going through a biosecurity area. Okay, today's January 12th, 2021, and we're really excited to show you this construction. We're happy to say that everything's proceeding as planned. We're moving forward. We're completing the construction. We're looking forward to this 2021 to be a really productive year with lots of production.
I want to thank you for the opportunity to let me speak with y'all guys. We're working hard and diligent up here, and I hope you're happy with the outcome. And stay tuned to the website for future information. Thank you.
Yeah, my number, call me actually, we're going to the bridge just past that visible parking store.